What are you seeing right now with tourism in Nicaragua, right? Running this hostel here for so many years, specifically this year, 2023, and going into 2024, what do you see? A lot of people are coming back to Nicaragua, and do you think it's just gonna pick up in the next 2 years?
What I've seen is there's new people coming.
What tips would you give that person for them to be able to maximize what they're trying to do while they're here?
To not come a week or two.
Do not come a week or two. That is true, right? What would be the best optimal amount of time? A month, yeah. Definitely need a month. Hey guys, welcome back to beautiful Nicaragua. And today we find ourselves in Managua. And actually we're in my favorite hostel to stay in every time I come to Managua. I'm actually with Claudio, who is the owner of this hostel, and he's been running it for years. So today we're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk, and we're gonna talk about a few topics about Nicaragua that may interest you if you're coming over here. Topic number one we're gonna cover is actually safety in Nicaragua. Is it safe to come out as a tourist? And we're gonna give you some safety tips. Topic number two, which is pretty big and I think it's gonna help out a lot of people, is how to maximize your trip here in Nicaragua so you get to do as much as you can and see as much as you can and have a good time while you're here. Because oftentimes you come here and then you realize that you're not gonna get to cover everything you wanted to do. Claudio?
Hi, Elton.
Hi.
Thank you for inviting me to your YouTube channel. Glad to be part of it. Yeah, I've been running Casa Lucia now for 9 years. So
long time.
We have had a lot of visitors from many countries in the world.
How many visitors do you think you'd had in 9 years?
Countless.
Countless, more than 500? Who knows, huh? Yeah. Well, that's a lot.
So I get to say, from insights, and also I live here all my life.
Yeah.
So I would say, and I'm pretty vago, so I go to many places around Nicaragua.
You go to so if you're coming to Managua and you stay here, Claudio's he's perfect for showing you around Managua.
I have seen the ups and downs of everything, how this country behaves. I'll say, well, you asked me about safety.
Yeah.
For tourists. I think a lot of people, when they travel to Latin America in general, for many of them it's the first time.
Mm-hmm. And
they don't know what to expect. They think they're gonna get robbed in every corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
because,
true.
If all you have for reference is Narcos,
as
the Netflix show, yes, there are some areas that are like that, but that's not reality for everything. So also, one of the things I hear a lot when people come to Managua, it's oh, Managua is dangerous, stay away from Managua. That's nonsense. That's I think I can find a dangerous neighborhood in every city in the world.
That's true. Even in the U.S., there's dangerous neighbors.
And in Chicago, they say there's some apps, to see the shootings live. We don't have an app like that because we don't need it. So it's I think safety is very relative to who you ask. And from the point of view of a tourist, I think what they need to know is how Latin America works in general and have common sense. But this is easier said than done because if you have never experienced it, for example, you might think something that is normal in your country here is not. It's not thinkable.
Well, let me ask you this: if someone's coming here for the first time, should they be really worried? Should they be concerned?
Not for their own life, no.
Yeah. No, they'll be fine.
Yes.
What are you seeing right now with tourism in Nicaragua, right? Running this hostel here for so many years, specifically this year, 2023, and going into 2024, what do you see? A lot of people are coming back to Nicaragua, and do you think it's just gonna pick up in the next 2 years?
What I've seen is there's new people coming, people that are coming for the first time to Nicaragua. So it's it seems it's being discovered again, but we already had this before.
Yeah.
So it's not that I'm a negative, but I think it's positive that people are coming for Nicaragua for the first time.
So you see more people though than the past?
I would say after COVID hit, probably this is the year with the most tourists. Yes. It's picking up. People are picking up in traveling in general. So many people was trapped for many years, so they want to get out.
Yeah.
That's bringing new people in. The old people that came already that are coming back.
Yeah.
So for many years, also Nicaragua was, let's say, not very connected to the world. Still not very connected. Like,
yeah. It's still raw
it's
over
still
here compared to Costa Rica.
compared to, like, I'm talking about airlines.
Oh, airlines.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So airline wise, we have Delta. No,
Avianca.
sorry, we have Delta is not running anymore. We used to have Delta. We have Avianca,
American Airlines, I think.
American Airlines. We have United is coming down. Spirit Airlines is coming down. Aeromexico, and that's it.
Yeah.
So like 5, 6 airlines are coming to Nicaragua right now. So it's not like Costa Rica that you have all these connections, you know.
So we noticed a trend here with Claudia that people fly into Costa Rica and then cross the border because it's cheaper. Since
a lot of, especially from Europe, I think because it has more flights.
Yeah.
So, and the border is right there, you know, like
it's close. Yeah.
From Managua, the border is 3 hours down. From Costa Rica, the border is 5 hours up.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a popular route to do.
yeah,
Something to consider.
It is something. Also, a lot of people are traveling multiple countries.
Yeah.
So they're traveling all Central America. So they're maybe flying in Costa Rica, getting out in Mexico, or coming down from Mexico to Costa Rica. So yeah, that's the behavior usually. Yeah. Myself, I've found cheaper flights going to Europe from Costa Rica, not from Nicaragua. So yeah, if you have like, it's something to look into when you're like deciding the route that you're coming. Of course, the main hub is Miami. Miami, there's a large population of Nicaraguan in Miami. Mm-hmm. And this is why there's always been a connection directly to Miami.
Yeah.
So Miami, and I would say Houston is the other hub.
Man, that's interesting. Let's say, right, someone's coming, right, and they're gonna spend a week or two in Nicaragua. Mm-hmm. What tips would you give that person for them to be able to maximize like what they're trying to do while they're here?
To not come a week or two.
To not come a week or two. That is true. Right? What would be like the best optimal amount of time? A month. Yeah, definitely need a month.
So a lot of people think Nicaragua is a small country.
Yeah.
And it is, compared to Canada, compared to Brazil, compared to countries like that. Mexico is huge, for example. But Nicaragua is like 3 countries in one. Mm. This is what they don't know. They think everything is reachable close by. And a certain degree it is. But they think with 1 week they can see it all. It's impossible.
Yeah.
You know,
you're on the run too much, right?
See.
Yeah.
So what I would advise is, okay, first, how much time do you have? Usually the Americans don't have a lot of time because they live a stressful
Gotta get back to work, PTO, 40 hours only, and that's it.
Yeah,
5 days.
72 hours.
Yeah.
3 volcanoes.
Oh, man, yeah.
So I would say, first, figure out how much time you have. Like if you have a month, if you have a week, if you have 2 weeks, this is gonna limit what you can see.
Yeah.
I would say 7 days is rush, but you can see a lot. 5 days is super rush, you can see some. 2 weeks, you can see a little bit more.
Yeah.
And rest, because a lot of people travel like back to back, you know, like take a bus, jump in another place, like see a lot of places in one day. So I would say if you have little time, maybe booking tours with a company is going to maximize how much things you can see.
Because organized. Everything.
And you get to see more things in one day.
Yeah.
Like you can combine places.
Mm-hmm. But you have to understand there's Nika time over here, right? Like you might find a spot that you like, you want to stay longer if you only have 5 days.
But this is the thing. It is a trade-off. Like you can either travel or relax.
Yeah, know? That's true.
So if you just want to relax, I'll say go to the beach, stay there, don't move.
Yeah.
Because you will enjoy the beach better.
Yeah, more free time, yeah.
More free time, and this is going to be like a vacation for relaxation. Some
That's
people
true.
travel for for pleasure and like relax. Some people want to see more cultural things, so or they want to see more locations. You know, it's like everybody has their style of traveling.
Yeah.
I think this is what I help travelers with. It's like trying to figure out what kind of things they're going to like, and then direct them there. So I'll say figure out your time. For example, if you only have a week, you have to stick basically to the Pacific coast, which is the Pacific coast is Granada, is Leon, is Managua,
San Juan.
is Masaya, San Juan, Tola, etc. And Ometepe. You don't have time for Ometepe in 7 days. Ometepe is a destination of its own. It could be easily 3 days, Ometepe.
Yeah, you need to travel by boat to get there.
You need to get a boat, a ferry. And then you don't want to rush it. You don't want to be there 1 day and then leave the next day. It's too little time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some people also see Solentiname in the lake and they think it's easy to get there, and it's not. You have to go to San Carlos, which is another route.
Yeah.
So, I'll say, if you have 7 days, stick to like the beaten path. If you have 7 days, or go directly to the destination, like a beach.
Or book tourism, or go to the beach if you want to relax only. Right?
See, like if you want to see, stay on the coast, stay on the Pacific. If you want to go relax, go directly to the beach.
So in your experience, what is the trend then?
Wait,
Everyone.
This is with 1 week. With 2 weeks, you get to see a little bit more. I will add the north side of the country. The north is the mountains where Elton lives.
Yeah. Completely different vibe than
completely different country. It is the mountains. So imagine what people think of Costa Rica green is for us the north.
Yeah.
Basically,
exactly.
like wildlife, coffee, cacao, agriculture,
tobacco.
Yeah, it's farmland. You know, it's like a lot of green, a lot of animals, a lot of nice food.
And actually, if you think about
it, it's fresher and it's cheaper. The food over there is cheaper. So
less
if you
tourism.
No, zero tourism. I would say like the tourists don't get to see the north because they don't have time.
If you're into adventure, you go north because you'll be the only tourist.
I think there's certain type of people that the north fits them better, especially the outdoorsy people. If they like into hikes. Yeah, the north is perfect.
More nature, like you're by yourself. Like it's very interesting.
Everything is you're always surrounded by nature. In the Pacific, you are like in more like colonial cities, small towns
around other tourists.
But it's not packed.
It's not packed, But if you go to Granada, you'll see.
But Granada in the one street, you will see a lot of tourists. But in general, I would say nothing is completely crowded. Maybe San Juan a little bit, but if you stick only in the town, if you get out of the town, it's another thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So it depends what some people like that. You know, some people like to be where the party's at.
It depends what you're looking for, right?
It depends what you're looking for.
Yeah. So that's 2 weeks. So you would add in the north if you're here for 2 weeks.
See, or Corn Island. Corn Island is a popular destination. So Corn Island, imagine. This is why I love about Nicaragua is the proximity to many different things. So you have like the Pacific coast, one type of beaches, like more bays. In the south, it's more like bays, different type of sands. You have from your hostel to your fancy hotels, like luxurious hotels. So there's a place for everybody, I think, and it's also close to towns, you know, and have some of the Nica vibe, you know.
Yeah.
But if you go to the north, it's another country. It's rural, it's coffee, it's mountains, it's hardworking people, it's the real people that make the food. This is why we work with coffee also.
This is Claudio's brand too, so this is why I love staying here. If you come here, he has his own coffee brand. He sources his own beans from North Nicaragua.
And this is why I do coffee, because I really love that my job forced me to go to the mountains.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. So you get this coffee if you stay here, by the way. You get to drink it every morning, so just a heads up. This is what we're drinking right now.
So that's the north for me. The north is, you know, this connection.
Yeah.
And then you have the Caribbean side, which is another country. So in the Caribbean, you have multiple ethnics. So let's say that the Pacific coast was conquered by the Spanish, and you have Espanol like the main language.
Yeah.
And then also in the north. But in the Caribbean, there's different ethnics. So you have the Miskito, the Creoles, the Sumo, the Rama, the Garifuna. So it's like a blend. It's like all type of people, other type of behaviors.
It's a whole different country, to be honest.
For example, it might sound weird, but it is part of the diet. Turtles are part of the diet. And it's not crazy to eat taco turtles in
I didn't know that,
Island,
actually.
because it's part of their diet.
Yeah.
You know, they've eaten all their life. They have eaten turtles, so it's like
Have you tried a taco turtle?
No.
No? Okay. No. That's crossing the line there.
Yeah, but for them it's not normal, and I don't think they eat that much that it impacts. I mean, it
impacts like the species count, or
the species count are being impacted by the consumption of eggs, not by the consumption of taco turtles.
Yeah.
So I don't
there is a sanctuary here in Nicaragua for turtles, right?
Yes,
what is it called?
It's there's two.
There's two.
Chacocente and La Flor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's only 7 beaches in the world that have massive arrival of turtles, and these are 2 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So these are the 2 of the in the world.
In the world, yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
But it's like hit and miss. I wouldn't recommend that as like unless you have like a month. I wouldn't recommend that. Like,
you gotta wait for them to arrive, right?
It's lottery, man. It's
yeah.
like I've been there and see 1 turtle, and maybe 3 days later there's 3,000 turtles coming at once. So
wow.
people would go there and camp and wait until they come. And there's also a lot of like so that is like a military protected area.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like guidelines. For example, you can have a flashlight because you blind the turtles when they come out.
Oh.
So there's a lot of restrictions. It's if that's your thing, go there, camp, see, wait.
You need time though.
It's like related to the moon, related to the ocean, like
the
waves,
the cycle.
So it's non-predictable. But what they do is that they say, oh, most likely between this date and this date, there's going to be an arrival. So if you want to follow that, there's an organization. I think you just Facebook Tortugas Nicaragua, and you'll find like the schedules.
Man, so going back to we were talking about North Nicaragua, right?
Okay, North Nicaragua. There's a lot to do over there. The problem in the north is not that easy for the tourists to get around. Get around is you need a pickup truck. You've seen Elton's videos where cars get stuck all the time because it's not like everything is paved. And also, as soon as you get out of the paved, you need a truck.
Yeah, and then it's like a 6-hour bus ride to get up north. It's probably longer.
Yeah, but for travelers that have a lot of time or they are traveling indefinitely, I think that's the part they enjoy the most.
Would you recommend someone hitchhiking here during the day?
I wouldn't hitchhike myself, so I wouldn't recommend it.
You wouldn't recommend it?
Because I don't know what car I'm going to get to.
Yeah.
But... So
I've seen a few hitchhikers here, like foreigners hitchhiking. I picked up a few before.
Yeah, so. I would hitchhike in Ometepe.
Ometepe? Oh, that's probably common over there because it's such a small island. Like you just pick up.
There's no cars.
There's no cars.
Yeah. I mean, there are cars, but very little. But I wouldn't say hitchhiking is the way to do it. But yeah, it could be possible.
What about people coming to work from
I met
here?
people hitchhiking from Guatemala to here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Foreigners just hitchhiking the whole way.
Sí.
Wow, it's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. What do you think about working from here? Let's say you work remote, you want to come out. Do you think they'll be fine in terms of Wi-Fi and just accommodations and stuff?
I mean, there's internet in Nicaragua. There's good internet.
Shocker. Yeah, I've been asked a lot if there's internet here.
There's call centers that when you call in the States, they answer here. So that means yes. The thing is, you need to know where, like, internet is not the best in all the places, of course. You need to know the company you're working with. Sometimes there are failures.
Electricity goes out. That's common here in Nicaragua.
So what I see is like maybe cities are better for that, like Granada, Managua. San Juan has on and off electricity.
León maybe.
But there are some places that have like backup. So it is not impossible. A lot of people live like that.
Yeah.
So I would say it's just a matter of like prepping.
Okay, let's see what other topics.
The other thing is like when you have a long time to travel. Okay, I would say Caribbean side, Corn Island, that's like a 5 days. You have to fly there. You can also take a boat from Bluefish, but the best way is to fly.
Yeah.
And that's like you're flying to an island that is like white sand, blue water,
clear water.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
warm water.
Coconuts, shrimp, lobster.
It is
all
incredible.
The delicious thing, and you wouldn't want to go there for 2 days, 3 days. Yeah. You want to go to spend a week there. And it's very remote, like there's Corn Island and Little Corn Island. And this is just 2, but there's more. There's the Mosquito Keys are completely on virgin.
Yeah.
It's hard to get to those. You have uh, the Cayos Perlas, Perkis, completely untouched. You have Pearl Lagoon. This is only in the Caribbean coast.
Wow.
So
there's options, man. You
people,
need more than 2
like
days.
really, in general, I would say tourists don't go there. Corn Island is in the map. The rest are not in the map. People who go to the other places are people that are traveling for a longer time. You know, like they are like a month, 2 months in Nicaragua. So this is why I say that don't travel a week and expect to see it all. You know, it's because it's big. It's big, and if you want to really enjoy it, you don't want to rush it. So if you want to see volcanoes, that's Pacific coast. But that's you can see you in the Pacific coast. You are always nearby a volcano. So in Mombacho, it's near Granada. Masaya is both near Granada, Masaya, and Managua. It's like in the center. That's the one with the lava. Then you have north. You have Telica, Cerro Negro, famous for the sandboarding. San Cristobal, not that famous, but it's the highest volcano in Nicaragua. You can do that from Leon or Chinandega. Chinandega, you have Cosiguina. So all the volcanic chain is in the Pacific coast. So it's easy to see a volcano from the Pacific, but this is if that's what you want to do. And some people want to see them all. Some people just want to see 1, 2. So I would say plan your trip according to what do you want to see and do, and know your timing before. Like
what would you say time throughout the year? What months are the best to visit Nicaragua?
Not April.
No, too hot, right?
Too hot.
Yeah, scorching hot. You don't want to come in April. Yeah. Or even would you say May, right? April,
May is the start of rain, so it's still hot, but it's raining. Also, a lot of people, I'll say like it's good throughout the year, except like. So when it rains here, it rains. Sometimes it pours for 2 hours and then it clears. So it's not like it rains all day.
It's like a flush rain.
It's like
pours. That's it.
So I actually like it better in the raining season because everything is green. It's less hot. Nicaragua is only hot.
Yeah, that's it. Even in winter, it's hot.
So you have heat and less heat.
Yeah,
nothing in between.
Yeah, nothing in between.
Or nothing extreme. Cold maybe in the north where Elton lives.
In December it gets a little chilly up north.
It gets chilly to 15 degrees. That's people wearing sweaters already in the streets. But I wouldn't say like it's cold at all, you know.
Yeah. So you would say avoid April maybe if you're gonna if you're for excessive heat.
For example, it depends. For example, if you cannot tolerate the heat, don't come in April. You're gonna dehydrate.
Yeah.
If you I think the peak season is December, January, February. This is when most people come because it's cold in the north. They will come here. So all the prices also go up.
Yeah.
Because everything is more packed. So if you don't want to see a packed Nicaragua, don't come in December.
Yeah.
So if you want to see, like San Juan del Sur, New Year's Eve, I wouldn't go.
It's too packed. It's too crazy. Yeah.
But
if that's what you want to party during that time,
some people want to do that. But I wouldn't.
It depends what you want.
Yeah, I wouldn't. But some people want to go that. So December is the peak time, I would say. But sometimes there's more flights and more cheap to come here in those days. I remember the Canadians used to have like charter flight directly.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do that anymore, but they used to have it like at the end of the year, and they will come like for a month, direct flights from Toronto, and it was very affordable to come. But they had like a limit, like a time limit restriction, so like they had to be here like 2 weeks. I don't know if that exists anymore, but it is the time that gets the most crowded. December to February. Then March starts slowing down. October is the least because October is the rainiest month in Nicaragua. So you have to understand, like Caribbean coast, it rains 9 months of the year. In the Pacific, it rains 6 months of the year.
A lot.
Yeah, although it's changing because of the climate change, but that's another topic.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to experience a hurricane in Nicaragua, don't come in October.
It's rainy.
Yeah.
It is pretty bad. Yeah.
But if you want to get the best prices, come in October because it's low season. It's the lowest season.
Yeah.
So,
if you're okay with rain, right, you just deal with it. And like Claudia's mentioning, it's flush rain, comes in and then it goes out. So you do have pockets of opportunity to do things.
No, more than pockets.
Yeah.
You have 2 days. What you don't want to be is trapped within a storm.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Like, it's
rain,
lame because it could be you are in the beach and then there's a storm, so it's not sunny maybe for 2-3 days.
Yep.
Because it's a storm. But that's the only way it will rain all day is because there's a storm.
Yeah.
So, but passing those 2-3 days, it goes back to normal.
Yep.
You know, unless there's a flood.
Yeah. So interesting
stuff. In which case,
man.
It's like you don't want to be near rivers. But
Nicaragua flash floods the streets.
If your interpretation is that Nicaragua is an adventure, it is. Don't expect here like everything will be organized.
So what would you say Nicaragua versus Costa Rica? Because you get people transferring from Costa Rica into Nicaragua. Okay, what is like the overall notion once they get over here?
See, I've been to Costa Rica. It's very beautiful. I haven't seen it all because it's big also like Nicaragua. My impression is that the first thing you will notice is the price. Costa Rica is
expensive, yeah.
Double the price than Nicaragua. That's anything that Nicaragua costs $10 over there is 20.
Yeah.
So maybe it's because they have a lot of more tourists than Nicaragua, and that has raised the prices. This is a complaint I get a lot from travelers. This is what they tell me. You know? They tell me it's like, oh, Costa Rica broke my budget.
That's their experience. They end up spending more than they think, huh?
Yeah. So I think money gets further down the road in Nicaragua than in Costa Rica. That's like, but the beauty is there. Like, it's a very beautiful country. Like volcano-wise, beach-wise.
What about culture-wise?
It's more developed. People are well educated. Health-wise, it's well advanced. It's probably the most advanced health-wise in Central America. So yeah, it's a country that works.
It works, but it's too different culturally, right? Like, it's just right over like 4 hours away.
Yeah.
But you cross the border, and it's like completely two different experience in terms of like people and just vibe over here.
Okay, what I've heard a lot from travelers is that they like. You are putting me in a spot because it's like Costa Rica, Nicaragua. That's like always been like the two contest country. You know, we are always like. Who's the owner of Gallo Pinto, which is us, of course. But no, I think every country has its thing.
Yeah.
Some people tell me that because of the tourism being big in Costa Rica, they have kind of lost their authenticity. And maybe that's something in Nicaragua hasn't happened, you know. And hopefully it never happens.
Yeah, hopefully
to be honest, I think if one of the things Nicaragua has is its culture. Yeah. Very unique.
It's still raw, right? It's still
Nicaragua
same
is
culture.
It's not wearing makeup.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And you will see it in people. People is very one-faced, you know. It's like humble. It's a poor country. We are, I don't know, third poorest in South America. Yeah. So it is not a developed country, and that people know. So
you can tell when you cross the border. You know?
So, but also, you know, that doesn't mean people are not happy. People can be happy here too. Yes, everything might be harder. I think. I think people Nicaraguan have very good sense of humor.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's the way of coping mechanism.
It's Nica time here, man. Yeah, things move slower.
Yeah, but that's living in Nicaragua doing tramits is not fine. Not fun. But I'll say in general, people have very, very good attitude. Especially I would say Nicaraguans are very, like hospitality is built in. You know, the Nicas. I think rarely you will see a case of where people say, you know, get out of my country. Like,
Yeah.
almost never.
Very
like,
hospitable people. Yeah,
people,
they'll take care of you if you go to their house.
And then in the north, that's completely intact. I would go to the north, and a random person would invite me to the house to have breakfast, just because I'm not from there.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
This hospitality, I think, is something to be protected, because you don't want to lose that as a country, you know. And people, that's their nature, you know. I've had guests. I remember this guest from Germany. She was visiting, like, so she had relatives here, not relatives, like through her cousin, they had like a person that had a family here. So she was in shock when this family was basically going out of their way to take them to the beach, to take them to Granada, to take them to show them the country.
Yeah.
And she told me, it's like, this would never happen in Germany. Like, nobody would go out of their way
spend their time
to spend their time.
Yeah.
And I say, this is normal in Nicaragua.
Yeah, it's normal. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
So I think that's something people like, you know. I think that's something people notice, and I think that's what they say, you know. That's they say that the Nicaraguan people are very hospitable.
So that's something to think about, right? As a traveler, like, what do you want to experience, right?
So that's, even if as a solo traveler, I heard a lot of women say that they feel safe because every time they go, you know, people also tell them advice. So it's like, I think there's more good people than bad people.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and that you will get usually good advice in general. Like, nobody's gonna tell you, oh, go to a sketchy spot. No, nobody's gonna tell you that.
Yeah.
So
if you ask for help, they'll help you.
So,
yeah.
See.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, in any way, you know, it's like it's funny. In that sense, I think Nicaraguan people is the greatest beauty that this country has.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, especially living here for now and getting to see it, right? It's just different vibe from the U.S. even, man. What they will do for you here compared to other countries is just completely different, and it's untouched.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we covered a variety of large topics here. So we talked about safety, tips, about traveling here and maximizing your experience. I mean, we can probably make a full playlist with Claudio here, because he has a lot of knowledge in Nicaragua, and we spend hours talking usually. So
yeah,
I mean,
hours.
Yeah, hours. And right now, what we're gonna do is, if you want to see another video of other topics, just drop them in the comment, and I can make them with Claudio. Because every time I travel to Managua, I stay at his hostel here. I'm also going to put a link to Claudio's Instagram below. So if you want to get in touch with him and questions about your travels, or you need some help in deciding on what to do while you're here, or getting some things in Nicaragua, he can help you out. And I'll drop a link for his hostel too. If you want to come stay here, you get an authentic breakfast in the morning and some really good coffee. And actually, you'll be around some good people. So.
Food too, that's also good.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about food, dude. I mean,
we should do one about food.
Yeah, we'll do another one about food. That deserves a whole 40-minute video about food. Yeah, so thank you, Claudio. I definitely appreciate it. Okay. Cheers. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.